Hi, I'm Dave Mansheim. I'm the manager for Bard Date Company. I'm also the current president for the Bard Valley Medjool Date Growers Association. I was asked to speak very briefly on some of the water issues that we face in agriculture in general, and even perhaps more specifically with the dates. We farm right on the Colorado River, which is right behind me. One of the things that in the state of Arizona this year that was presented was a House Bill 2338, which was called the Water Augmentation Bill. Most of the local people in agriculture really wanted to have it identified, what do we mean with water augmentation? When you take a look at the Colorado River Basin, every year there's only so much rainfall, so much snowfall that comes into the basin. That's the amount of water that we have to utilize in the area between all the metropolitan areas, rural areas, and agriculture. So we really need to understand what we're talking about when we say augmenting that water. So when we bring this on down to the local level, one of the things that we have to do is try and utilize the water that we are allocated in the most effective way that we can. The things that I'm going to be showing you today are really the ways that we at Bard Date Company are trying to change from flood irrigation to drip irrigation to utilize that water most effectively. This is an example of what we use as an Inground Monitor. There's two different probes that measure the soil moisture content, both at about 1.5 feet and one at 5 foot. And what we're doing is continually monitoring the moisture content of the ground so that we can adjust our irrigation schedule to have the best conditions for the tree possible. The reason I brought you to this area is this is one of the areas that we're doing a test in different types of drip irrigation systems and emitters. This is a pipe that brings the water into the drip irrigation, and you'll notice we have holes on either side of this where we're putting in pressure regulators or pressure monitors. If you look behind me, you'll see that we're using an in-ground tape on the block that we're currently at. The block that's right next to us in front of us, we're using microfan emitters. And the block that's in the far distance, we're using a normal emitter that's used in this area most commonly. The whole purpose of all this that we're setting up and the monitoring of the soil moisture is to try and find the most efficient way to deliver water to the tree. We're currently standing in front of a field that is flood irrigated, and this once again shows the total picture of the water and how the water in the local area and how the word augmentation affects us as a farmer or you as a consumer. You can think of it as, like I mentioned before, there's only so much water will fall, whether it's rain or snow, in the Colorado River Basin. So when you talk about augmenting, are you talking about bringing water from the Mississippi to this area? Are you talking about bringing water that's been desalted from the ocean back to the area? It's a zero-sum game. We as a group, as agriculture, as community leaders, have to use the resources we have most effectively. This is a 5.5-year-old tree. This is the second year that we've taken fruit from these trees. Before that, we'd trim all fruit arms and let the energy go back into growing a strong and healthy tree. Typically starting in May is where we thin the dates, where each strand that the dates grow on will come back, and if you notice, every little nodule here is a potential date. And what we do, we knock those off so that as the dates grow, they have room to grow in larger in size, and it helps prevent them rubbing together and blemishes from forming on the dates. We're standing in front of one of our fields that we call conventional agriculture. In the dates that are grown in the Bard Valley area, we don't use any pesticides directly on the date or on the trees directly. Now, one of the things, the most common question I get, because we also have fields that are organic fields, and one of the most common questions I get are really, what's the difference in this area? Because we don't use, and as we go through the packing process where we're putting these dates into the box, we don't add anything else or do anything to the dates other than spray them with water and roll and brush them so the dust is off. So what's the real difference? The example I give most people when I'm giving a farm tour is, on our field that is organic, we pay about $260 a ton for a certified organic chicken manure. On trees like this farm, I use a conventional steer manure that I'm paying $8 a ton. This manure that we use on these trees is trucked from about 8 to 16 miles away to feed these trees. The chicken manure comes from about 250 miles away. So our actual carbon footprint per pound of nutrients that we're feeding a tree is less on our conventional fields than it is on the organic fields. The other thing that it causes, we do a lot of paperwork certifying our organic fields, and it creates time. It creates a whole nother position within our company to do the documentation for that. For those that, and I think it's wonderful, the organic market should grow, but I really want consumers to ask their questions, why am I eating organic? Is it safer? Does it taste better? Or is it more friendly for the environment? Because all of those factors, by crop, by area, may change, so you may not be getting the benefit that you believe you are. It's consumer education.